red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake.
All right, so are we live? We're live again, right?
Live again. Take two.
All right, well, my bubble guts is a little bit calmed down because I don't know if I was really finished. Taco Bell got me, bro.
Yeah. We're just gonna roll right into this thing, huh?
Yeah, just jump right into it.
Roll right into it, man. So
Post Super Bowl.
we're doing morning podcast this time.
Morning podcast.
Different feel, different vibe. We're not gonna be sponsored by a bourbon this morning.
No, what do you got on here?
We're gonna go
Sponsored
straight
by
Crystal
Springs.
Crystal and Niagara.
Oh, you got Niagara over here.
What the
So
hell? The hell did you find that one?
I was just in the fridge, man. You know, behind all the beers that are still left over in your fridge. It was a fun time, by the way, Brian. Thanks again for hosting.
Yeah, thanks for hosting. It was still a good time for.
Always a great time, no matter the winner or the loser of the game. But we'll. How are you feeling, Chris?
Like,
That's
you should be asking me that
Yeah,
question. The guy with the
this
Niner hat on.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I think I said it to you on the last podcast. I was just like, you know, when you go and it's a high, you kind of get on a high and you kind of get excited. Maybe your team might win, and then you lose in the Super Bowl, and you're like, man, well, at least you get to go. It does suck going, and just keep in mind, this is 3 times in a row for me, just recently. Even though I've had some wins in the past, this is 3 Super Bowls in a row. Not in a row, but back,
Right.
yeah, in a row for the
Ones
Niners.
that 49ers have been in.
Right. The Ravens, you know, I didn't say anything like, oh, it's rigged or anything. I just, take the loss. And then KC in 2019, 2020 season. Yeah, we lost there. Didn't say anything. I was like, no, we had a shot to win. We just didn't win. And then here we go again. And, you can ask me my opinion on it. I mean, I think the game was, honestly, I think it's pretty boring in a way. Like, if I was to be honest, at the beginning, here's the box score. You can kind of see what kind of happened here. We know McCaffrey fumbled, and Casey obviously fumbled with Pacheco. There was picks. You can argue about the pieces of the game, right, and say you gotta pick it apart, as much as possible. I think the whole Taylor Swift thing just made me look at the game. Like I said, I've already had 2. I don't complain about rigging and the refs. Never did. This one, I don't know if it's how organic it really is or was. I won't even say just for the Super Bowl. I would say just even getting Casey all the way there. Let's go pre-Super Bowl. I don't know how organic it was because this whole Swift thing. It just makes you think I guess I can say this. I mean, was it the perfect way that NFL wanted it to happen? Could you get any more perfect than this? I don't think you get any more perfect than this for the season. I think it was perfect for the NFL.
That's what they needed.
That's what makes me question organicness, because I'm like, hey, man, it's so perfect, But anyways, go ahead, Dustin. You want to say something?
Well, for the Chiefs, I think their road to the Super Bowl, starting with the playoffs, everything kind of fell in line for them, right? So they played the Dolphins the first week of the playoffs, right?
Sub-zero.
In negative degrees.
Do you think that was a factor?
No, well, they played a beat-up Dolphins team, too. Let's just be honest. I mean, even our top 2 receivers have bad ankles, and they're speed guys. They can't cut on those ankles. We've kind of talked about that a little bit already. Our defense had the top 3 pass rushers were out, and we had other guys battling injuries, which a lot of guys battle injuries. A lot of teams do, but ours was overwhelmingly bad. Hard to recover from when you have several Pro Bowl type players that are out of the game or playing on one leg.
But your team didn't even show up at all. Not even a glimpse.
Well, again,
right?
Well, we didn't get blown out by the Chiefs. It wasn't a blowout.
I don't know. I just felt like it was just we watched from start to finish, and it was just
there was
no time that Dolphins were gonna show a sign.
Again, it's hard to run that same offense that's been so efficient all season when your 2 elite guys are banged up and on one leg and can't cut, and we didn't have depth at the wide receiver position. So anyway, moving on to that, I forget, who did they play after that?
Buffalo,
yeah.
Okay. Did they play Buffalo the second?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
They had to go through everybody.
And they went. The Baltimore game was more like Baltimore again was not playing the way they normally play. They were throwing the ball. They were only running the ball 6 times with running backs, which was not their game. So KC, everyone kind of just gave it to KC. It's and in this game, honestly, the 49ers looked like the better team.
But they lost. That's where it gets weird.
Well, it's
Well,
easy to show because I'm sure
it's
you
the
can pull
mistakes.
up. Well, I mean, KC had some mistakes too.
Yeah, but I mean that's.
What do you wanna see,
again,
stats?
You have a close game.
Yeah,
What do you wanna
but
see,
there's a
stats?
stat that
Turnovers?
you go to team
Team stats.
and then go down, and this is where there you go.
What?
Well,
What this?
it's even.
No, it wasn't even. It was. Remember if you're talking about penalties and stuff.
Yes.
49ers in the whole second half never got a penalty. Nothing favored them penalty wise. It didn't happen. And I think Romo made a comment in the overtime. Oh, this is the first penalty since the first half for the Niners. But once again, we're gonna now, like, I see where Dustin was about to probably go. It's like, hey man, like you're pick. Or if we want to dissect this thing and slice it and say give opinions on little moments, I'm okay with doing that. But I wasn't even going to go there as a Niner fan because I have no weight being a Niner fan.
What they're saying is Chiefs played a perfect second half without penalties.
Oh yeah, there wasn't. I can pull up holdings all day, easy.
You can pull them up
Easy.
on both. I've seen clips on both sides though. They were kind of letting them play for the.
But
most
no, they
part.
were calling the 49ers and not calling the Chiefs.
There was
Not when you
never
have
there was
only
never a holding call on Chiefs.
six,
on both and
six
stuff.
penalties on
Not
each
one.
one. That's not a game changing stat to me. I mean, there was nothing egregious that I
10
saw.
yards is game changing on
well,
a drive.
Considering how bad the refs have been this season, I thought, in my opinion, there was a lot of bad calls this season. Would you not agree? I mean, we say that probably every season.
Completely.
But
Yeah.
I think this season was really bad. I didn't see anything that was like game changing.
I didn't realize though. I mean,
Here's the thing: no one's reviewing. If you reviewed, and I reviewed, you'll find those answers. We were watching, drinking, talking to people in between plays. We weren't looking for anything crazy. I mean, do you guys remember when Andy Reid gets pushed by
yeah,
Travis
I
Kelce? You
do.
guys saw it?
Yeah.
Did you saw it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Jerick McKinnon comes up and grabs them and
Yeah.
stuff. Like all the little details of like Dre Greenlaw all the time. He just goes out of the game because he's running onto the field.
I saw
Tears
that.
his Achilles.
Yeah.
Like what?
Is that what it ended up being, an Achilles?
Yeah, Achilles just running on the field.
Because that's such a long recovery process too.
Yeah.
So he's going to miss probably the beginning of next season, huh?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Damn.
but it's as to me with
well, he came back out. You
What
said
a
right?
fluke!
No.
he
yeah,
never.
they brought out the cart right away.
Yeah.
I mean, what a fluke penalty or injury, man. That's heartbreaking.
dude 10-3 at halftime. Niners at beating KC. Usher comes out, does halftime. We come back in, and then KC puts up 10 points to our 3-0 in the third quarter. I mean, you can see right there. That's just the game. It just unfolds. It's really boring in my opinion. There was nothing explosive about the game.
It got better. The game just got better, and I don't mind a good defensive game, especially when you get. Like I said, I think it started out maybe a little slow, but I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was defensive. Like 49ers showed up. We were talking about like, damn, this team showed up. They were playing some hard defense in the beginning.
Yeah, I think Mahomes might have only had like 95 yards passing in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, and of
Well,
course
he
you're going to
ended
expect good
something like
coaches and good teams are going to make adjustments at halftime and come out and do different things. I think that's what Travis Kelce was yelling at Andy Reid, right? Put me in the game and we'll score. Do this, and I saw the clips where he was kind of just finding that open space in the zone in the second half. Kelce was, which is what he does, right? We always talk about how the hell does he get open so easily? Well, he just finds that soft spot in the zones. And then he turns around and Mahomes, and they just have that connection. So I think that's what started happening in the second half that wasn't happening in the first. Man, it was two awesome teams, and I think it came down to that we talked a little bit before the podcast about the overtime rules. Mm-hmm. I was unaware that they changed it a couple of years ago about you can score a touchdown if you're the first team to.
The other
To
team
get the
still
ball
has
and
a,
you go down, you can actually score a touchdown. The other team still gets a possession,
Right.
Which I didn't even know. They changed that a couple years ago for the Super Bowl, not for the regular season, but for the Super Bowl. So obviously, the 49ers, at least it doesn't look like they knew or remembered that change, which kind of stinks because then you can let the Chiefs have the ball first because if they only have a field goal, now you can actually.
You can see what they do
see what-
first.
right.
Yeah, if they score a touchdown, we got to go down and score a touchdown. We know we got 4 tries to do it though.
Yeah.
When you have the ball first and you go down there, you're like, all right, well,
Yeah.
we can kick the field goal, or well, hold on. If we need to score a touchdown because they can go. They even if we score a touchdown, they can still go down there and score a touchdown. It doesn't
Right.
end the game.
Correct.
So it's like then let's just go for it. Make them. We got to score a touchdown here because I mean,
You
if
know-
you don't, you kick the field goal, then you know that they can just go down there and kick the field goal and win.
Right.
Right.
The 49ers
So it's
actually
kind of-
now I think have a point. Every overtime, even regular season, the ref explains the overtime rules.
Yeah.
Did he not explain the overtime rules
We had a lot of tequila in us by the time that the refs were explaining the rules, or they were doing that. So I don't know. I remember them doing the coin flip because we
were because we all paying attention for the coin flip obviously, but not the ref talking to them. And sometimes they don't mic up the ref when they do, but every ref always explains the overtime rules. So are they saying for this particular time the ref went out there and says, okay, just call heads, tails, all right, boom, and that was it?
But they should know the rules. I mean, we all should know the rules. I mean, the Chiefs were practicing it. Look, was it the? I just think there's an advantage to knowing what the first team does with their possession, right? Because if they don't score, and all you need is a field goal, it changes how you move forward.
Well, that's
obviously right. So. I just I don't know if they could have it over again. Do you think the 49ers take the ball first, or do you think they?
I mean,
I would defer and give it to them, and you have them have the ball because then it's like, well, I want to see what you do. I want to see your poker hand.
Mm-hmm.
It can change. I'm like, they only kick. Imagine, you only kicked a field goal. Let's go down there, score a touchdown, we win this game, guys.
Right.
Worst case scenario, we kick a field goal and keep this thing going.
Right.
Okay, so we can put it away. We know what they just did. Now, if somebody goes down there and scores a touchdown, you're like, oh shit, you better go score a touchdown. But at least I know what I got to do.
Right,
because you have 4 downs. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So the biggest advantage is to know if they do score the touchdown, then you're not obviously kicking a field goal. You're going to go for it,
right,
no matter what.
But obviously I'm a Niner fan, so it's like kind of unfair. Like no one's gonna. Oh, he's just crying. He's just complaining. But I'm just telling you, I personally still think the whole thing. I think there's something fishy about the whole NFL now. I do. This year, this is before my Niners are even in it. We've got podcasts going on. Hey, the podcast before this Super Bowl podcast, the one we're doing before the Super Bowl. What did I tell you? I came in here more favoring. I'm like, I don't think we can beat this. I don't think the Niners. It's Niners versus Swifties versus Pfizer. I'm like, it's not likely to probably be in my favor. You're like, well, you're going to go with Niners? I'll go with Niners. But you already saw me kind of like, come on, man, I'm not stupid,
But did you really see anything that was blatantly obvious? I mean, honestly, if Moody doesn't miss the extra point or doesn't get it blocked.
But then somebody else, somebody will say, oh, well, they would have played their game differently or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, they would have had to go for it on that 4th down instead of kick the field goal, right? But or the Kansas City did.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's 19,942 votes right here of people that probably aren't emotionally as attached as I am
That's
or
true.
you are, and 82% of them think that it's rigged, the NFL.
That's a wild stat right there. I would not expect that many people to think it's rigged. If that many people think it's rigged, then how does that many people still watch? I mean, if I knew it was rigged or thought it was rigged, I'd lose interest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of losing a little bit on it, but it started with this Rams Super Bowl because like, man, this is too obvious to me, but that's just how I'm looking at it. Here's the problem with us as football fans. We've watched this from as a kid, and it slowly has been, but it was such a slow thing. So if it slowly did get rigged, would we really catch it? Or are we looking for, I'm never looking for it. I never was looking for it. This year with the Taylor Swift thing made me start looking at stuff a little differently. And like you said, Chris, was there anything that was obvious during the game? And I'm like, no, Dustin, there really wasn't. But then I'm like, was it supposed to be? That'd be my argument. Is it supposed to be obvious?
One call can change a whole drive and momentum.
And I don't know who's involved. I don't know if coaches are involved.
One call, that's it.
I'll tell you what.
Don't have to be a 10.
Why was me and Josh were bitching during the game? Why is Brock Purdy passing so much here when we should be like, it was like 6 or 8 passes in a row and no runs? And I'm like, well, no, Casey's run D is not that good. We can run the ball with CMC. I think right after that, the next series, he started getting 5 yards. But I know there was a couple times someone's like, no, he kind of was stopping him a little bit. But I'm like, I don't think that things were kind of weird. I can show you Fred Warner there's some weird shit, man. Just grabbing. But once again, let's say it was, they wanted Casey to win. I'll just say this last thing. And Niners didn't play that good a ball, so it made it easy we're just like, I don't really have to do much. They're doing exactly what we need. But I'll bail out KC if we need to. But right now, everything's fine. Let it ride. Adam Scheffler felt that it was going to go to overtime. I'm like, how are you guys predicting these things? And then I think about Vegas, their odds. Why are they so good with the Brock Purdy runs and stuff? They're like, do you ever think about that? Stand back and say, well, how is Vegas so? How can you predict how much somebody's going to run or catch? Like, this is ridiculous. That's precise. Hey, Brock Purdy's not going to run for over maybe 12 yards or something.
Did he not?
How would you know that?
I'm glad you brought that up.
How would you know that?
I think he ended up with 12 yards. And the line moved to 11.5 right before kickoff.
Let's go.
So
See, I haven't even looked.
look at his
3 for 12. Yeah.
How would you know that?
Yeah.
I think it was 13.5. They moved it to.
It was 12.5 where I got it at, and that was my big bet. 12.5 yards. He's going to get that right. 12.5. And then I didn't put more on it when it dropped to 11.5, and so I lost. I lost that bet by a half yard.
I lost all 3 of my
and he got
bets.
10 of it, I think, in one rush.
Yeah.
Remember?
So how would you, as a fan, I want you to be that precise. Somebody that's like, no, I know these. I watch these games. I want you to be that precise. You can't be that precise, can you?
It always is
every
amazing
game,
to
by the
me.
way.
But they're not. There's plenty of times where the odds makers are way off. When you look at.
You're not going to get them all, right?
No, you can't. But it is amazing sometimes how precise they can be. But I mean, that's their job. I mean, you look at averages and all that kind of thing. I guess you can't. I tend
there
to go
is
off
nothing
of
on
recency
that
bias. Well, because you look at what he did against Detroit, and
right?
You're going,
Which
okay,
would
well,
say higher than that. Obviously, you would think that like, oh, it's obvious that he's probably going to run more. He's starting to put this in his
The
game.
real hurt was Mahomes. Well, he had like 88 yards.
Yeah, Mahomes had the most rushing for his team. He had 66.
Yeah.
But if we went line for line on all the bets, right, that Vegas had, we're looking at just Brock Purdy's rushing yards.
Right.
But let's look at his passing yards compared to what the line was. Let's look at the over under. Look at the over under was actually at 47.5. Well, yeah. I know.
You're supporting it.
Well, there's a couple that are very close. I'm just saying if you go line for line though, like I think McCaffrey's rushing yards was set at like 90. I think he had 80. So it's like Travis Kelce's receptions was set at 7.5, okay. and his over under yards was like I got it at I think 69.5. Yeah, it moved I think to 72. And he had 93.
Okay, so that one's a little bit more, that would be more organic to me. Like you tried, but you didn't get it. But when you have 12, the over/under is precise. You're getting so close to the like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you make all these bets, or when you're setting all these lines, I should say.
Yeah, you shouldn't miss a lot of them.
You're going to get some that are going to be really close, and you're going to get some that are going to be off.
I would think majority of them should be off.
Mahomes' passing yards is way over what his over/under was set at. Yeah. By probably 50 yards. I think his was probably set at 270, I think, or somewhere around that. I think Pacheco's rushing yards was like right there, 59. I think that's very close to what it was set at. But you're going to be. That's what I'm saying. You're going to be really close on some. You're going to be off on others.
So what do you think these? Not here. I mean, that's a whole other thing. What do you think these people? Let's say I'm sure some of these are football fans, but what do you think that they're viewing from the outside looking in? If you detach yourself from it, you're just like, oh, there's this whole because they're looking at politics, they're looking at everything, and they're watching this stuff all unfold so perfectly. That's why you're seeing that, and it's gonna get worse. I think it's worse.
I'm gonna say that you're gonna have that many people right after the Super Bowl vote on it. How many people do you think were voting or rooting for the 49ers in that game to beat the Chiefs?
They wanted that because of what?
Because everyone has the same thing with the Patriots when Tom Brady was winning all those rings, right? It's a fatigue. People are tired of watching the Chiefs win. They wanted to see somebody else win, right? So even though the 49ers weren't technically the underdogs, they're the underdog story in the sense that the Chiefs, you have all the Kelsey, the Taylor Swift, the Patrick Mahomes, all that stuff, right? People just want to see that regime get taken down. So I think a lot of people are just, angry or whatever, or
that's what they want.
I got a flip
I understand
side
what they
of that.
want, but
so take that poll a month from now and see how that changes.
All right, but who wants the Chiefs to win besides Chief fans?
that's what it's just NFL.
That was my point.
Just
That's what I'm
NFL.
saying.
The
So
NFL wants the Chiefs to win, right? They drew. Look, this was the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Yeah. I still argue that That's what they wanted, and they got it. That's why I was saying the Taylor Swift thing coming. They got what they wanted. They wanted viewership.
Right.
They wanted revenue. Who wins the game doesn't really matter at that point.
I don't know what the motive is if it keeps going.
Right,
The motive keeps going. Well, you can't have. There's a lot of ways to look at this. So, but go ahead, keep going on this. You feel that
I think that
these people just were against KC. They hate the KC, so that's why they're saying it's rigged.
It's like I said. It's
19,000
people.
people?
The reaction right as people are in their emotions, right?
I mean,
you're taking a poll right when but you're talking within a day of the Super Bowl.
I can go. I'm sure you're gonna find some older polls.
Take that poll next year at September when everyone has hope for their team and everyone's 0-0, you know. And see what people say, you know, because people are going to feel a certain way.
I'm sure I can pull a poll that's not even before Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think if you go to Explore, it has polls.
I can pull polls easy here. So, but this is coming after Joe Biden, by the way, posted this image.
Yeah,
you know, and if you click on alt, it says Dark Brandon. Once again, I mean,
I like how they call him Brandon though.
Yeah, we can, and they left this up, so this isn't a hack. This is not probably, Biden was probably sleeping, but it's his team, and they posted this. It was created and deliberately dropped off on purpose, just like we drew it up. Does it have to do with, obviously, Super Bowl and elections? Because it's part of this. Part of this is elections. So when we say, oh, well, people didn't want the Chiefs to win, so that's why they're saying it's rigged. I'm like, well, I think that it's not even just football fans. I think it has to do with this too, political. They would want that to. It looks rigged because it's now trying to favor this. Now we're going elections. We're going political. You see what I'm saying? There's football fans and there's people watching politics, and we got two things going on. And you guys really want me to kind of open up your mind right here. Here you go. What's going on? You want to see all the similarities to get you going?
You
Have you seen
I
this?
saw this, and that is wild when you see these.
I started verifying things. Did Texans win 10 games? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I started verifying this. I was like, oh, let me go to a different one. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year. Yes. Did Billie? Yes. Those
She
are
won Song of the Year this year too.
Yes, that is correct. So, and yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. A lot of these things, I'm assuming all of them are correct. Why even create this? So everyone's like, COVID Part 2 starts in March.
I mean, that's a loose one, but
So-
what's COVID Part 2? But the rest of it is, if that's all, I'm proud of you for actually going and cross-referencing and looking at some of these.
Most
stuff,
of them,
'cause a
not
lot
all
of
of them.
times, and I was guilty. I looked at it and go, well, wow. I didn't even.
Are we in a
I didn't even
simulation?
verify.
You
It's
know?
good. I'm proud of you for verifying.
Are we in a simulation?
That is wild, but are we in the Truman Show, Chris?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Are there people that
Sometimes
know
I do
what's already
feel like
going
we're
on?
in the Truman Show, though.
Yeah. Like they already know what's going to happen, and we're over here just living it, and there's people that know. It's like, right.
Yeah.
And we're just watching you guys under this dome or whatever. Who knows? I'm just throwing that out there how about this? All I'm saying is, as much as I want football and this to be organic, there is just so many things now today, more than ever, that make me look at it and say, maybe it's not really organic. I don't think it is organic. Like there's nothing organic in this world. I don't even think the weather's organic anymore.
The NFL is
Getting
not
deep, boys.
Deep.
Getting deep.
Yeah.
If you go to the NFL website, I think we kind of were looking it up one time. It does not consider the NFL a sport. They are considered
Entertainment.
I saw
And they're
that.
allowed to fix games if you're entertainment. Period. Legally. You can do it.
And you know what we need? We need you need a picture of anytime we mention conspiracy theory. We need like a conspiracy theory picture, just like something that comes up on the screen. It's funny every time I have a group chat with my buddies. We have one of their dogs with an aluminum hat.
Yeah.
Is wearing it, so the dog's looking up with an aluminum hat, like we got that conspiracy theory stuff. I trust too easily. I'll be the first to admit it. I have to see, and I really I have to be convinced that this stuff is real. And some of the conspiracy stuff is real. That's why we have conspiracy theories. They're not over, right?
No, that'd be
So-
silly to think that they're all wrong.
They're all wrong.
Yeah,
right?
you're
So they're
really
definitely
a
right.
sheep. Tell me
so,
something not
hey,
controlled in the world. Tell me something not controlled.
I mean, I just think, again, I've made the point here with the football, like they just have too much to lose. It's the biggest sport in the country. It's growing worldwide. We talked about it last week where they're going now to Brazil next year. If it comes up rigged, you lose big time.
You'll never prove that.
So, and their players are playing too stinking hard, man. They're not actors.
I don't know. You said you pay you whatever and you'll take the jab. Can I pay you whatever and you'll be an actor?
That ain't acting.
Will you be an actor of football?
That's
for
not
millions
acting.
of
That's
dollars?
me generally smiling that I just made $20 million.
Without the jab, and I got you over here just playing football, having fun, acting,
saying-
celebrity, Hollywood. I'm gonna make you wealthy and rich and famous. Or
They're already
just
though.
do my script. Do my script.
They're no.
Only for if
No.
you come under my umbrella, my NFL umbrella, and we draft you, sure, under my script, you have to do that. You'll be a multimillionaire,
dude. They've been playing football for how many years now?
I'm not saying it's been
And
going on.
nobody's
This whole
really
time.
said. There's been players that said, "Man,
There's been
we
players
watched
that
that
said it.
clip, right? Where
That's
he
Bubba
was like-
Smith from years
Bubba
ago.
Smith from years ago. And who was the quarterback? Do you remember?
It was Baltimore Colts versus the Jets because
It was.
Theismann's on one side, right? Or Theismann? Or name it.
I don't remember.
Namath's on one side. That's what made them.
Yeah, Namath. Yeah,
It was to bring them together.
Broadway
and
Joe.
stuff. I forget the guy, the
and
Baltimore
I
Colts
forget.
guy.
We know the name, anyways. Yeah. So there's obviously players that are gonna be like, man, I don't know what happened. That it seems rigged to me because nothing else makes sense. How that could happen, right? So we go, well, that doesn't make sense to me, so it's got to be rigged.
What about when your
haven't
team
seen
wins the
anything-
Super Bowl?
Huh?
What about when your team is the winner of the Super Bowl and your team says it's rigged? I mean, the winner. You're the winner, and you think it was rigged, and you won.
Tampa.
Dwight Smith, Tampa, and John Lynch will say that.
Oh well.
John Lynch will probably be like, "Yeah, man, we knew everything that they were coming out." That's what they said. I'm just going off what they said, and then Jerry Rice and Tim Brown's like, "Yo, something ain't right." Anyways,
Yeah. Well.
it's a deeper talk.
Yeah, it's a deeper talk. Now this stuff that you just pulled up.
This
What's your
shit's
thoughts on
creepy.
this?
What is with the Hollywood, the media celebrating this satanic worship? You see it more and more common, where this, listen, whether you have religious beliefs or not, I think we can all agree that having Christian morals or most religions' morals are good for the world.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Live by a certain set of rules that keeps you on the straight and narrow, right? What is it about this stuff that has become like, why are people either celebrating it or glorifying it? It's disgusting,
Bro.
Maybe we're old. I don't know. Are we? Is it that? Because I don't know if I looked up or liked Ice Spice's music, I couldn't name you one song. If I liked one thing of her, if I was a fan of hers, and she did that stuff, I'd be like, whoa, I'm out. I'm out.
I didn't even know who she was until.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I think she has to do with like Disney and stuff too.
wow.
No
a rapper.
way.
Yeah. well,
Does she really?
I thought
Sounds
so. Somebody
about
else
right.
was-
Yeah, well,
no,
sounds
yeah,
about right.
on the Annie
Yeah.
or something. Annie, she played Annie or something in Disney. That's what I was thinking. I can't
Oh.
remember. Like a movie. Yeah. To touch on, I don't know if you have anything to say about it, Ryan. I guess when I'm thinking and you're talking to me and you're looking, maybe like Chris, you're like so conspiracy theorist and stuff. I'm just questioning things. I'm observing. All I'm doing is observing and be like, okay. And then I'm just like, our food's controlled. I know that the stocks so I'm big in crypto and stock. That shit's all controlled. And I'm like, people talk about HARP with the weather being controlled. Like, is everything controlled? And I'm like, well, if you're running the world, why wouldn't it be? Would you let your hands off the wheel? And I mean,
Yeah, but are they controlling it for the better?
no, it's for a direction, right? And it seems like maybe it's in some evil hands. Like, I mean, you're controlling what's going on in schools. We're controlling elections. Tell me, like, that's what I'm saying. Tell me something that is organic besides you maybe like, oh, I organically went and took a piss today. No one controlled me. I did it naturally. It just naturally happened. I don't think there's a lot of stuff that we can say, especially in America, that's like, no, it's kind of, it's pretty unorganic. I mean,
Well,
it's
if
organic.
you stay away
It's-
from the media.
Right, that's
blank all
controlled
that-
too.
right, of course,
Right.
that is. But I'm
So it's
saying
like-
you blank all that out and our everyday stuff. You know what's organic? This podcast.
Yeah.
This is
Right?
organic, yeah.
Family, friends, your everyday life,
This
for
is
the
organic.
most part, is organic.
Right.
That's why I've said from the very beginning of social media that crap was gonna ruin the world.
And it did.
It
And
is.
It's still doing.
Yeah.
it.
this
People,
is
the
bad.
kids are brought up. They want is attention, right?
Yeah.
They have to have likes. They put their pictures up, and depending on how many likes they got or how many friends they have on the internet, this kind of stuff right here, you're wanting attention.
The younger crowd is
Right.
desensitized. So when you're desensitized, you don't have any empathy, you don't have any compassion. You're going to expect this kind of possible behavior. I mean, I know girls in town, they're wearing shirts with like a church is being burnt on it, and it's like, Satan's my daddy. I see this. I think I showed you at the Super Bowl party. I was like, yo, look, there's someone made a group that's like, hey, is there any Satan worship? I'm like, what is like happening? But I can't understand it because my mind and my soul's not that way. Same with you guys. You're like, I don't understand it. We need to look at the world and say, look, I know you don't see it that way. It's not under you. It's not how you feel, but don't rule out that there's not like something like that on the other side, right? We can't rule anything out is the way I look at it, which is where, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Why? Because I'm open to seeing like what's real. I want the truth. I want the truth out on the table.
Yeah.
Bam.
We seek the truth seekers.
Yeah, and then purify the world like a cleanse. The world needs to be cleansed. It's like needs to be fully detoxed. So it's ran by money, chasing stuff, dopamine hits, highs. No one's going out to like take care of humanity. If it was, Chris wouldn't be eating McDonald's and Taco Bell. You would make sure, hey, you can't let the human have that. He's going to cause disease. It's all controlled. Everything's controlled to me. So when I look at the NFL, which I didn't feel it was back in the day, we can watch old films. I've been doing that, watching old sports of NFL, and it seems more legit, even though maybe they want a direction. But, dude, you guys tell me. And just, once again, step away from it all and just look at the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that and see if you guys feel that they have been playing the same ball. And it's, how do I put it? Like, do you feel that like we just left the Tom Brady era, and do you think that the Chiefs should be like it's just picking up? Do you think that that's organic? Like, oh, just so happens we got this going on. I think Andy Reid's going to be eventually going out. We saw he didn't look too healthy, but this is keep it going, use it as much as possible. Ryan,
it's just more about how the NFL can fix the games and this.
There's no law that prevents it.
Under entertainment purposes.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So,
well, I just again I don't see enough glaringly obvious things that make me think that.
Right.
But I mean, hey,
apparently
I'm in the minority because 84% of whatever it was of people right now think it's rigged.
I used to
look
be
for some old polls, right?
The sad thing is I used to be more like you. That's me and him would like kind of battle. I'm like, okay, it sounds okay. Yeah, fucking that's not really gonna happen. But the more and more I'm starting to open it up to it. And honestly, I can thank social media. This is like the one thing that social media, because you'll have people that will point things out, and it's like, yo, that is kind of strange. And
well, I'm gonna go something deeper in here because these are we need to go before the Super Bowl.
Oh, I did see. We talked about the amount of times that they were going to show Taylor Swift. Did you guys see the final count?
Yeah, I was marking
11 or 12.
I had like 11, 12. Yeah,
12. So Ryan, you were very close with the 14. Yeah. 12 is a lot of times. I didn't notice it to be.
Because how often? I mean, there you were talking to people, you're drinking and stuff. 12 times in one game.
That is a lot, but
how many times was Mahomes' girlfriend showed?
Mahomes' wife.
Yeah. Wife.
Every time they showed Taylor because they were standing right next to each other.
All right. How many times Brock Purdy's girlfriend showed?
But they weren't showing
0.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's girlfriend.
Right. 0.
All right.
Juice checks 0.
Right.
Who's making?
Look, they got to feed those Swifties, man. They got to give the people what they want. You got to feed that hunger.
See what you're just saying?
Yeah. Well,
they have to. Meaning the NFL.
Because
you're telling me that you got a piece of.
Will. He's me 3 years ago. Like now I'm coming around to things.
So let's keep looking at. You mentioned the NBA and stuff. If you do not rig and keep this thing going and make Patrick Mahomes and keep something going and you will look. The NBA is dying bad. I went and researched them before we did this show.
LeBron's gone. They're done.
Yes, exactly. You need to get somebody in there and control it, or you will collapse your entertainment organization. So that's an argument. Like, if it's rigged, no, you have to do whatever it takes, because if you let it go organic, what's the chances of Patrick? Let's say it is organic. That Patrick Mahomes, which had his worst year, and no one was like, "Oh, this is the best team in the NFL." No way. But we had to push it this way because Swift, because of money and stuff, had to. if you're NFL. Before, I understand you don't. You're like, no, it was all legit. It's like, dude, we don't fully know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know how the rigging. I don't know those answers to say no. This is how it's done specifically. All I'm saying is that the perfect scenario just got played in front of us. And if I asked you guys at week 8, 9, 10 that, well, I just want you to know the Chiefs are going to run through everybody, Niners, everybody. And you're just like, what? The Chiefs? They're not even that good. They're kind of playing shitty ball. They are playing shitty ball, but that will go away. And Dustin said earlier, well, they picked up during the playoffs. Exactly. Like it can be steered and like, no, well, who knows what fully happens? I don't fully know the details, but all I know is we just watched the perfect script for the NFL that just took place during the election year. We got some weird shit going on over here with this stuff that matches like exactly running again. Is Taylor Swift going to be at the White House with Kelsey?
Oh, absolutely.
That makes me think more that this isn't organic. So guy with the Niner hat, you're just a crybaby. I didn't cry about anything on the other 2 losses. I'm talking about this one is fishy. And even if people are like, I just don't want the Chiefs to win. We want somebody, so I think it's rigged. Or I don't want Biden to win, so I think it's rigged. I can tell you that even before the Super Bowl, if we go back, you're going to see a lot of people, channels saying it's rigged. I think it's been going on before this. So
go
ahead.
Let's talk about.
Here's her talking to Roger Goodell.
Yeah, let's talk about the whole, because we mentioned this before.
What is this? This is not even needed. Why are you talking to the commissioner?
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, if you're the commissioner, why wouldn't you want to talk to Taylor Swift?
Has nothing to do with football. Like,
I don't know.
He purposely went up there
I think there's
to their suite, though.
I think sometimes when you have it in your head, though, now you're looking at every little thing and going, "Why is that happening? Why?" It's just 2 people talking. I mean, we can't. You know what I mean? Like,
that.
Again, I need to see some clear, obvious, like, evidence.
You won't.
Oh, sure. There's things that happen that you're like, okay, why did that happen? Like we look at Baltimore's game plan. Why in the world would they only run it 6 times with running backs? That doesn't make any sense to me when they haven't done that all year. Now, I could look at that and go, okay, that is weird, right? 2 people talking right here. Come on, man.
Oh, I'm not. I'm saying this is just a bolt-on to everything I'm supporting.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let me pivot.
Hey, why? Okay, it's Taylor Swift. That's great. You meet her, maybe hi. That's it. Why do you want to go you're having a conversation. You're the commish because you are a part of a reason why. Listen to what they say in this video. Oh, he's probably thanking her for all the attention and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, that's what it's about.
Sure.
It's not just 2 people talking. It's, hey, this is business.
Well,
thank you for helping my business out.
It's not a secret.
And we're going to use you because I know you helped my business. So I want to continue this.
Here's the thing is, if
That's not
Chiefs
just 2
were
people
losing and they just sat there and lose, would the NFL make the money that they made?
They already made it for the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. You're not making any more money based on the results.
You didn't get what I just said. I said if they were losing,
right,
would they make the same amount of money?
Oh, just in general.
Say the Chiefs
lost the Super Bowl?
Well,
no, didn't even make it to the Super Bowl.
Didn't make the playoffs. They keep on all them games. Taylor Swift's at. They're losing and losing.
No.
I agree with you there.
No,
obviously I agree with you. If they would have lost in the first round of the playoffs,
you lost
they
the
don't
Swifties.
make as much. Right.
No one cares about the relationship.
Right.
It's done. No one cares about it. Right.
And just like Vegas,
NFL is not using
just like Vegas. You guys were just pulling up like how crazy it is. They pull up these stats. Do you think refs don't have stats or whoever can steer a game? Like, hey, all we need to do is call 3 holding penalties per game. And normally if we do that, it's steer. I'm not saying that's
if you
what
can
it
nail
is.
the Vegas odds, you can nail a game. Come
Right.
on. If you can rig
So
an
they
election,
know, like,
you can
hey,
nail a game.
It won't look insanely crazy with, 14 penalties, 170 yards. All we got to do is call 3 holding calls. Do it in the, towards the end of the second half and 1 in the third quarter or something. They know these type of things that can steer a game without it looking steered.
Completely. It's an art. It's
Yeah.
no different than acting. It's movies.
But
it's an art.
there were still mistakes that the Niners made to shoot themselves in the foot, right? The punt that bounced off the ankle, whatever, right? That was a turnover at the end of the first half, I believe, right? That just resulted in a field goal,
right?
But that's 3 points. The missed block, the
extra
blocked
point.
extra point cost them the game.
Okay.
If you look, so what I don't see, yes, in a close game, can a bad call crush momentum or steer it in a certain way? Yes, but you hear it all the time from players. We're not going to lose off that one bad call, right? There were several mistakes that they made, and it's hard to play a perfect game. But turnovers hurt you more than bad
Chiefs
penalties.
didn't play a perfect game either.
I know. No, okay.
No, I know. I'm just saying what the 49ers did. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see anything glaringly obvious. 6 penalties apiece is not. Dude, you know when the Dolphins played the Ravens in Baltimore? What was there? 10 penalties called on the Dolphins and 0 on the Ravens. I mean, now that. And by the way, that wasn't the only game that the Ravens were involved in Baltimore where the refs were seemingly calling all the penalties on the other team, and then the Ravens.
I think they wanted the Ravens going.
One, we can say there's different groups of refs. I can tell there's different talent. Like, there's different singers that are better than others, right? You can say there's different ref groups that are better than others at controlling games and doing steering and not fucking it up. Where if you do, like, let's say the NFL has refs, teams of them. Hey, this is how we operate. This is how we work. And they do. And some are going to be better than others. So your best one that is really like hard to like kind of that's really good at steering and stuff, that's your Super Bowl refs. That's your group. Now, the other thing we got to remember is that we're looking at it from like, oh, well, that extra point, if that would have happened or this, no steering is fully needed at that point. Remember, the whole goal is I just need one team to win. I need Chiefs to win. I don't care how it gets there. Just make sure that they win. So you can let the game unfold. You can. You don't need any steering in the first quarter, in the second quarter. Just make sure when it counts to make sure that that happens. And once again, the Chiefs could organically beat the Niners. So the Chiefs, everything's going as planned. Us as refs don't need to steer anything right now.
Right.
We're good. We got to keep that in mind, that it's not that every single thing has to be steered, which we could argue that, but I don't want to even go that deep to it, even though that's an option. Just say that if it's needed, we'll take care of it. We got you. And we can go to the last drive. We can go, I mean, if we want to go down to that's really where we should analyze it instead of like the whole game, like just go down to when it would be needed. Is there anything that this was like having trouble playing, but there was, you see how Mahomes has 66 yards rushing? The last drive for them to go down there to make sure that they score a touchdown to beat the Niners, there is 2 holds. But you're like, Chris, they could have called. Right, they could have called those both sides during a game. Right, but when it was needed and it was legit, if they needed to and it was flip-flopped and it wasn't the way it was going, you could throw that flag because it's clear Bosa is getting pulled and Mahomes rushes for like 30 yards or whatever. That could have been like holding on the offense, and I'd take that right back. Right now, what's holding call, 5 or 10?
10.
Go ahead and make it. I think that was third. Make it third and 20.
That's why I say one holding call is a drive killer for the most part.
They know that, though. The refs do.
Right.
The NFL knows they know how important that is. I can move that. I'll try to get to it. Go ahead, Dustin, keep going, because this is good. I like that we're not on the same page with all this.
Yeah, well, it makes for an interesting argument.
Yeah.
I just don't. I am not. I am not one of the 84% that thinks the NFL is rigged.
Okay.
Now, I don't think that the players are a part of it. Some think players are a part of it. I don't. I mean, it would have to,
Well, sometimes to me, when we think a certain way, especially when emotions are high, right? Emotions are still high. And I know you mentioned this even before the game, so I'm not saying that you're thinking differently than you did before.
Yeah,
absolutely, you've been on this for a little while. I think, but when we start thinking a certain way, now we're seeing things that aren't really there. And you're questioning every little thing, like the conversation Taylor Swift and Roger Goodell. That's really nothing.
It just adds to it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But I think naturally our brains, when we think a certain way, now we're picking out every little thing that could possibly be that, even though it's not. Okay. Right? We're seeing things that aren't there.
Right, but then you can argue the opposite of that.
Like if you believe in ghosts, you're going to see ghosts sometimes. Oh, why did that thing move? Or why did this thing do that?
But then the opposite side's true, though. What you're saying, right? So do you have to be in the middle?
When you think a certain way.
Yeah, yes. If you're like, no, none of this, you'll never look for it.
Yeah.
Or
sure.
you look too much for
I don't think
it.
It's there, so I'm like, nah.
Right.
I'm really a little bit more closed-minded to the little things, right? So, okay.
You're right. You could say, Chris, now you're looking for it too much. And then I could be like, well, if you disagree completely, then you're never looking for it. So it's like, do we need to meet in the middle?
Fair point.
Both of us need to meet in the middle and say, what do you got? What do I got?
See, no, I get what Chris is saying. Even though this is the Chiefs,
I can't get this thing to work.
This is the Chiefs' drive. What it is he's saying, the refs are looking the other way on penalties.
They won't let this fail. If Chiefs are supposed to win, they're not letting this fail.
Blatant penalty.
They won't let
I
this
think
fail.
This is your best evidence. We're trying to pick them out for conspiracy theories, and the website isn't working.
They won't let us.
That's
They're
called
like,
my,
no, they're
Trying
on
to
the
get to it,
podcast.
man.
that's my shit internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now it's well, it's
The
actually
podcast is live. We're not going to let these guys.
I wish I could pull
call
it up.
us out and prove that we're.
I wish I could pull it up for
We're all
you because
Chiefs
we
fans.
can literally watch this drive to see if notice anything that we see. I will say there was a point at the Niners, and I'm almost like Brock. Like he had a moment where we could have scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
And my right tackle that's why Brock is like shit, and he has to throw the ball real quickly. Literally, hike, and lets him go.
Yeah.
Lets him go right at Brock, and Brock's like, "Jeez."
maybe he thought
The
he
only
had.
thing Brock had is he had Kittle about to come underneath to dump it to Kittle if he could. But
Right.
the play that he just did before that was a quick reaction.
Maybe
throw
thought he
throw
had
the juice check. The juice check
running
got
back
that,
help.
that brought it to the first down. I wish I could show this video. I can't pull it up. It's not pulling up for us.
Well-
but, I'll keep trying.
Until next year.
Until next
It was
year.
a fun season for
Yeah.
me. I also say that the Dolphins' offense emulates the 49ers' offense in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we're
right?
similar.
We're one of the few teams with a fullback. Obviously, Mike McDaniel comes from the Shanahan tree, and so they have very similar style offenses, right? Mm-hmm. So I like to see obviously a team that runs the same type of offense be successful and get to a Super Bowl.
Right,
So that gives me
absolutely.
some hope, right? Okay,
Yeah.
because I think the difference between the 49ers and the Dolphins is that we run a little bit. I mean, you guys have a better offensive line and defensive line overall, I think. Linebacker play, for sure. Your linebacker play is got to be up there, right?
Yeah,
So
big time. If
I
they
think
don't
I think
run off the
that's
field and get
biggest-
hurt,
That's the biggest difference. You got it working?
no.
No,
it's a
blatant
freeze.
hold on Fred Warner coming in.
Yeah, it's-
Hey, hands wrapped around a guy's waist. That's usually always called.
Once again, if you wanna call it, you can call it. But like Dustin will say, this is taking the organic. Like, look, man, they're just gonna let the boys play football.
Yeah.
But you're almost like, well, that's not fair. When you're like, I want you to play
As
it
long
the
as
same
they're- I
way
always
that
say this,
everyone
as
should
long as
play.
they're doing it on both sides of the ball, though.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you're looking at all the Kansas City drives or Kansas City on defense, you're going to see some penalties not called in the 49ers. Guarantee you, there's going to be.
Who has the better pass rush, 49ers or Chiefs?
Oh, Niners all day.
Yeah, I would say.
all
the
day.
So what would be the?
You'll just say they
besides
just didn't
Chris
have a good
Jones,
game.
there's
Although-
not going to be a person that the Niners need to hold.
Yeah, well, Chris Jones is the best,
Right.
one of the best players on the field. So,
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
he definitely gets back there.
The 49ers literally have Bosa, Hargraves, Young.
Yeah.
They're all coming. They're all charging. And
Once again, do you think that they're going to call holds and shut this
I think-
Chiefs drive down? Could they? They
They-
could shut the Chiefs drive down if
They
they want
easily
to.
could.
Easily could have.
I mean, I'll gladly start going through it and just to see if there was a lot of
I would love to.
49ers getting held. Not held, other opposite. They're the ones holding the Chiefs
We can look-
players. And
Overtime is where it would steer, right? You would steer it in overtime. Now you got a tied ball game. Now we need to make sure this is
last
critical.
Drive, they need to look the other way to let the Chiefs get down there.
Well, here's the big thing. Do you think that Taylor Swift is actually, because that's the big conspiracy
Hey.
theory now with the GOP, right? They think Taylor Swift's. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I can go to this.
Do you think Taylor Swift is
Look at
actually going
Bosa.
to come out with a political preference?
I do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
You
it's
think
gonna
that's happen.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Do you?
Would that change your view of this whole thing later? Like
No,
you start
it
doing
wouldn't-
that
It
stuff.
wouldn't change the NFL thing for me because she's already huge. So that didn't. It didn't. Did it help Taylor Swift this whole NFL exposure?
No,
it didn't help Taylor
this
Swift
isn't.
at all.
Taylor Swift's controlled.
No, there's
She's the one that's controlled, being used for either money or for election stuff. It's
Okay.
not. She's not the driver of
people-
this.
okay.
She's the prop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like Kelsey is. Kelsey's a out.
Kelsey's the prop. These are the props.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
they're just the ones being used. I don't
Yeah.
think they're the person. That's why we don't hate her. We don't hate Kelsey.
Right.
I guess I need to make myself more clear.
We tried to last time. We said we have nothing against her. It's what
right.
they're
You're
using
the
her.
anti-Swifty. We all knew
Yeah,
that. Right.
big time,
Right.
yeah.
Big time anti-Swifty.
because I feel like you're interrupted. You're a part of the interruption in a vote. So
For the record, I am a Swiftie.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I'm gonna come in next week with my Swiftie.
I got it. Pause on accident. There you go, bro. You can't get any more You can't get any more obvious than this. This is the first down run. This would be a 10-yard. That's a 10-yard pullback. It'd be 4th and 11. It would become. I'm sorry. It'd become 3rd and 11, right? 3rd and 11.
Right, 3rd and 11.
So you could stop that if you want. I'm gonna hit play. You'll see. He's gonna probably put his arms out like, yo, what the fuck? Patrick Mahomes is now running through to go get the first down. He's gonna run for a lot more. Damn it. Hold on. Let me go back here. Watch it again.
Anyways.
Yeah, so he's going to just watch Bosa up here. So he's about to get held by 74. See, they could throw that if you want. You're going to be like, no, let it play.
No,
that's a hold.
It's a hold, and
It's
I've
a
seen
hold.
him call that, you know.
I see him call it
Go
too.
back to the 4th and 1. I think the one on Fred Warner is way more
Was it 4th and 1?
Yeah.
I got one even at the beginning of this on Chase Young, obvious, right down here.
Yeah, the one that Fred Warner, it's right in front of a ref.
Yeah.
You know how the ref is right behind the quarterback?
You said 4th and 1?
Yeah,
so that's
there's
back
a 4th
more.
and 1, yeah.
Let me see. Right now, since I got this thing full screen, it seems like it's working better.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You guys keep talking. I'll get to it.
So there's a 4th and 1. You guys all out blitz. And Mahomes is able to get the pass off, but because Warner's being held, it's this play right here. He gets it off to Rice.
No, it's 3rd and 6. It was a 4th and 1.
Well,
Here it comes. Man, you were just on that. I was like, yo, that. You'll see it. Justin's like, hey,
look, man. You know, I'm one of those where, unless it's in a completely obvious call.
Here it is.
I don't like the ticky tack stuff. Is this it?
It might be okay. No, let it play. I'm sorry, it's not this. It was right
ain't
after
this.
the 4th and 1. It's my fault. I think it was that 2nd and 14.
Yeah. So that's clean. I'm not gonna knock that.
No, it's go to the 2nd and 14.
I don't like refs taking control of the
It was that
games.
Rashid
I
Rice.
I like letting the players play, unless it's an obvious penalty. You know, like some of these pass interferences where they just knock the guy before the ball gets there. Right, that kind of stuff. I like to see. You have to call those.
You have to, yeah.
Right, but
There's
little
2nd and
ticky
14.
tack stuff because
You guys are
going to
come up to blitz.
every play. There's going to be a minor holding.
Yeah, there will
Right,
be.
every
Right.
play. That was away from the ball on that one. Yes, it was a hold. I'll give it to you. And they've
Yeah.
called that all season, so they would have been in the right, obviously, to call
It'd been
that.
okay if you wanted to.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
saying if we
Yeah.
wanted to steer it and let the Chiefs like, hey, no, I want Niners to win this game. You throw that flag. You now make it 3rd and 11.
Yeah,
Right? It makes it harder.
A lot harder.
But that's just one. There's more on this drive.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I could show you.
Yeah, keep going.
It's not-
You guys are on all-out blitz. Like Warner and it's not Greenlaw, but they're right
3rd
up.
and 6. Now
They're
we got
right
3rd.
on the
We got
line.
3rd and 6 right now. So
Here we
Warner's
go.
on the
now
line
watch
right
Warner
now.
coming up the middle. If yeah.
You can make this.
Watch this. Of course.
Yeah.
McKinnon held them, right? And I mean, you got
Here it is right there.
Oh, yeah. I can call a flag if you want to. We're just saying if you want to do that, you can call a flag.
See that
Yeah.
to me, is a worse one
That's what I said.
because
Then this
because
doesn't
that-
happen right there. That doesn't
That
happen.
split second, he gets to Mahomes, or at least affects the throw.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Right?
it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. He's
So
in
that to me, like the other one was away from the ball. It's a little bit more like, okay,
Yeah, 'cause-
does Bosa even get to Mahomes even if he's not held? Maybe, maybe not. But
No, but it's still a hold.
it's still.
You
I'm
still-
not-
you can
I'm not
bring it
disagreeing
back.
with
Yeah, you bring it
I
back.
didn't say it wasn't a hold for the record.
Yeah.
I didn't say it wasn't a hold. I'm just saying I don't like, especially away from the
that
ball.
was 3rd and 6. That's gonna make it 3rd
Right.
and 16.
That's worse. He
You're-
totally wrapped around him and kept him from getting in there.
I see what you're saying. Did it affect the play?
Yes.
Right. And I can argue that, but I'm also saying like you could call that like a normal game, and you would because how many other times did that happen? And you can say it for KC. That's why I'm like, kind of try to be consistent with your calls. If there's hold, make these people stop holding.
Yeah.
But here goes another one that Ryan has that like I can argue this one, or I can go even to the beginning of this drive and I'll show you Chase Young, same thing. Like, and that's a get to the play to
Yeah.
QB.
Well, that one was pretty bad. I mean,
Yeah.
he completely wrapped his arms around him.
That's why I was like,
and
how does
holding back.
that's
Yeah.
usually the easiest
And
one
right
for
up the gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ref's just staring right there.
Yeah.
He's right behind the quarterback.
I agree.
Boom.
I agree. Is this it again?
Yeah,
I
I
want
wanna-
to see it. Play it in just regular motion.
Okay, no, pause it.
I want to see.
Yeah.
It's totally he slows him down,
Yeah.
right? And that half a second,
Right.
it makes a
he
difference.
could do this.
Yes.
He could get in. It could. So then what is that down?
Well,
that
that'd
could be
fourth and 6. I mean,
fourth-
or if he
or
gets
it's
a
a
sack,
sack.
it could be worse. Yeah.
or worse.
Or a turnover if you bat the ball in the air. Who
Now
knows? Yeah.
the game could be almost over. 4th and 6.
Right.
You know,
the ref,
sack.
The ref looked the other way on that. I'm telling
Yeah.
No, you never know. But
That's a good one, Ryan.
Because we'll actually take it back. Mm-hmm. If they should have called the holding on that, would it be third and 16?
Oh yeah, you're right. 3rd and
So,
16, you call
right.
the holding on it.
Right.
Yeah. 3rd and 16, you'd call the holding. You're right. So yeah, 3rd and
So
16.
that's what we're really arguing is the 3rd and 16. 'Cause it should have been a hold.
3rd and 16. I mean, not that they can't do it. It's just still tough.
That to me is a very
That's a bad
obvious
one.
hold. I mean, that gets
go to
called
the beginning
9
of the
times
drive.
out of 10.
I'm just gonna go to the beginning of the
Yeah.
drive, and we can let the whole drive go, right? And just see when they get the ball. So but then again, you can argue, hey, Niners had moments that they could have put this away, Chris, and I'm like, I agree. But then the moments that they were doing good, give me that one penalty, and that would shut this whole thing down. That would shift the game.
Well,
give me the one.
So this goes, and I'll go back to saying this. You know, we have poorly called games all year long. The refs have not been good, and I don't know what the answer is because there is human error involved in that, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever reffed any kind of little league games or anything?
Yeah, it's hard to say
right?
anything.
I've
You
umpired my daughter's softball games way back in the day, and let me
This
tell
is
you, you piss people off even in that level.
Oh, yeah.
10-year-olds or whatever, right? You're pissing people off and not calling balls or strikes with the way when they think they're balls and strikes. You have to watch. I mean, how many refs do they have? They have like 4.
Yeah, they got a lot.
So
you
4
got
or
2 line
5?
judges
No,
right
no,
here.
yeah, there's a lot. No,
There's a lot.
But
more
there's
than
22 guys in the field. Okay.
Right.
So granted, they're all matched up usually against somebody, so I guess you can watch 2 people at once. I guess I don't know. They have trained eyes too.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to call everything.
Right.
That's why I only really get upset with when you have multiple calls missed on the same team, you know, and it just seems lopsided.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
for the game.
Then that's obvious. You can't have
Right.
that. They're
That's
going
what I
to
don't
call rig
like.
on
That's
that.
what I hate to see, and I also hate to see refs calling all the ticky tack stuff. Right?
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like all the roughing the passer calls. Basically,
Right there.
Basically,
It
75.
stopped for me.
Yeah.
Here's another one. That shouldn't be a pass.
Well, let's see when he lets go. When does he let go?
Dude, I'll
rewind
back it
play
up.
from the
It
beginning.
started
Yeah, let's play this
the hold went for a while.
Okay, we'll watch it. But nope.
Not that hold. They're not going to let
I'm
you.
not gonna let
What
you
the
watch that.
hell?
So I
Bro,
agree.
this
There's
is
a bunch of
ridiculous.
miscalled holds, and especially in the same drive. That's and you know the game tying drive in overtime. Yeah, that's aggravating.
There's nothing I can do about it. At the end of the day, it's their show, and if it is organic, I'm okay with taking the loss. The Taylor Swift thing makes me think it's not organic. We just analyze to say, look, can we argue that when it does come time to steer a game in the overtime for this game that was naturally unfolding, can we do it? Yeah, we can do it if we want to. We just kind of showed we can do it if we want to. And you probably wouldn't know too much. People would bitch about a flag or something, but I'd still get through, and you guys eventually get over it, which is what will happen. You'll get over it, and you'll watch next season, right? You'll play fantasy football. Your emotions will get over it.
Right, yeah. Eventually, a couple of days gone by, life goes on, and you've totally forgot about the game, or
Or there's a chance that organically Chiefs do beat Niners, and just don't worry about it. Imagine, that's the thing. Imagine if you do not rig and it's all organic. What you're going to see is you're going to see that dominant team probably get knocked out, and you're probably going to see KC not probably make it all these times. What, 4 out of the last 5? You think that they would just be that one fluke game that'll get them? Yeah. Why not? Why not?
They'll get.
Why not?
Look, when Burrows gets healthy and stuff like that, I think they like the Mahomes Burrows angle.
They love that. It's good.
Yeah, so that's like the new Peyton and the Peyton and Brady.
Burn on, big river, burn on.